reading about this Peter Angelo's guy, owner of the Baltimore Orioles. He's been a lawyer there, graduated. He's Mr. Baltimore, University of Baltimore School of Law, has law offices in Baltimore. Guy's some type of owner, man. He was voted in 2009 as the worst owner in Major League Baseball. 2009. Apparently, he once denied Ripken Jr. a job with the Orioles. Ripken offered to come work for the franchise's supporting role to help the O's young talent develop. And Peter Angelo's like, yeah, nah, stay away. He denied it, of course. And now Ripken Jr. said, yeah, our relationship is very good now. So
it's a shame. It's embarrassing.
We'll play this down to Kevin Brown and what he said to get him suspended. It's very interesting. Wonder how fans care about that. Spinotti, you care? Not really. You kind of looking around, man.
Well, no, I care, because there's been broadcasters in recent years that get fired for on-air comments for legitimate reasons. I mean, Brenneman, obviously. Kuiper here locally, Glenn Kuiper. So there's, legit reasons. So when I first saw this thing, I was like, listen, I kept watching it back and forth. Is that it? Is that really just stating facts? Because you hear it and you watch it, they just put a graphic up of them struggling against the Rays. They're not saying anything, incredulous or anything bad. They're just stating the facts that the Rays have owned them. That's it. And then he gets fired for that. It's just the whole thing just doesn't make sense to me.
And Flynn said it, Shasky. They're having a great year. You do something like this guy's excited, about to play the Blue Jays, about to play the Yankees. You suspend the guy. Shady.
They've got 3 of the top most exciting players in baseball. I mean, they're having a hell of a year, and they are. They're they're even more, they're like the Sacramento Kings, if you will, of Major League Baseball, where they're just a lot of fun. I think a lot of people want to hop on board.
Yeah, no, they are fun. They got a lot of young talent as well. They're fun like the 49ers. We know the 49ers are stacked 8 players in the top 100 voted on by the players, including Nick Bosa, number 4 overall. So let's get to Matt Barrows, who's been down to Santa Clara, and I want to get into his piece about Fred Warner. That was really cool. Matt, good morning, man. Welcome back to the Morning Roast. So in the last year alone, you've been able to sit in on an NFL locker room at halftime to see what goes on at halftime, which you discovered not much goes on at halftime. Basically, a couple things here and there, a couple talks, but it's so fast. And then you got to cover Fred Warner at a practice and follow him around. So that must have been a cool experience for you, Matt.
Yeah, and the two are related because the halftime one really kind of revealed to me. I always thought you knew Fred Warner was always the guy at the center of the huddle. He was always hyping guys up on the field. I thought it was more for show, or as much for show as for anything. But in that halftime, Fred Warner, continued that throughout that whole session. He was really the kind of the voice, the engine in there to crank everybody up, make sure that they weren't sort of resting on their laurels after getting up on the Buccaneers. It was that game, Brock Purdy's first start, that I did that. So I decided, okay, if I'm going to follow around one guy all day, the best guy to follow around is the Energizer Bunny, Fred Warner, and I did, and I got really lucky in that it was that Friday practice last week, which ended up being a lot longer than anyone, including the players, expected. It's probably is going to end up being the longest practice of the year. So there was a lot to see and a lot to report, and that's what we have in the Athletic today.
What was the big takeaway following around Fred at that practice?
Well, it's the same takeaway as the locker room thing, is that he never shuts off, but he never concedes anything, which is what you would expect from a linebacker. But he's always pushing back against the offense, obviously. But even after I suggested that, maybe Christian McCaffrey got you guys a few times in that practice, it was all yeah, but we thudded him here and it looked like he scored it through, but we really had him down. There was very little concession from him that the offense indeed may have gotten the better of the defense in parts of that practice.
All right, do we go right to the quarterback? Is that what we have to do now? Aren't we obligated?
I thought you were going to go Bosa.
Well, I mean, I think most people. Okay, well, I'll go Bosa. I know, Matt. Everybody, I'm not worried. I am worried. I am worried. Something's going on here. Like, you took this guy number 2 overall. You knew you wanted to get married to him. He's been an all-pro since day one. Are we really haggling over a mil here or a mil there? I know that they don't need him actually physically at practice. I understand all that. But, like, what's the holdup?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm with you on this. I mean, these contracts are done based on what the previously high contract is at the position, or in Bosa's case, on defense. And it's Aaron Donald's contract. So, I mean, I realize that one guy plays defensive tackle and one guy plays defensive end, and I don't know whether that's where the holdup is. But the bottom line is that Bosa's contract should be slightly higher than Aaron Donald's. And I don't care how you phrase it or how you parse it out when it's finally done, but that seems like it's pretty easy to come to for both sides. So I don't know which side is being more kind of prickly in all this. It's usually the agent, but it seems like it should be pretty logical about where this number ought to be at the end of the day. And I think once they get done with these joint practices with the Raiders, I think Nick Bosa will want to be there. I'm sure he wants to be here now.
Right.
But they're all the kind of rough stuff, the types of practices where he could get hurt, those will mostly be in the rearview mirror at that point. He's not going to play in the preseason. The practices aren't going to be as grueling as they've been. So now would be the logical time to get that done.
Well, John Lynch, when he opened up training camp, of course, you were there, Matt, where he mentioned that this could be complicated. Now, I was wondering what would be complicated. The years, the option years, the guarantees. What exactly is complicated? I guess it's just the dollar amounts, or they're waiting on Chris Jones in Kansas City to get paid.
That could be it. I mean, he won't go into why it's complicated.
Right.
It's been very vague, and that's fine. I mean, nobody wants to read about the nuances of a contract negotiation every day. It would be nice to figure out what exactly the holdup is. I mean, I tend to think that it's because there's a difference in position, really, between Aaron Donald and Nick Bosa, and that may be part of it. That they don't want to get just above Aaron Donald's contract because the next guy who signs will be just above Bosa. And it won't be fair because Bosa's better than that guy. I don't know what it is, but it's more money than any of us will ever see, so I get a bit exasperated talking about it because it just seems like dollar signs at this point and how you phrase it and things like that. So I think maybe in a week or so, people, the good vibes over this contract holdout will be gone, and I think people will be a little bit more hot under the collar and ready for it to be over.
All right, suspend reality for just a second with me. Most shocking moves in recent memory from the Niners, like signing Sherman was shocking. Trading for CMC was shocking. Trading up to go get, the number 3 overall pick, which eventually became Trey Lance, very shocking. Trading for Jimmy Garoppolo, shocking. DeForest Buckner trade, shocking. Trading Nick Bosa right now, just hypothetically, that'd be one of the most shocking moves this organization has ever done, right?
Yeah, I think that would top them all. Do you know something? Are you putting?
No, I'm just saying. Like,
am I going to see my name attached to a rumor? That
No, you're not.
No, I like to do this exercise. I like to do this exercise. What could he command? I'm not saying I'm doing it. I'm just curious. Like, how valuable is someone like? You think it's 3 first-rounders? Do you think it's 2 first-rounders and a couple? I know this is like we're guesstimating here, but like, you would get a whole back for someone like him.
You would. Absolutely, you would. The issue with the 49ers would be those first-rounders ostensibly would be late first-rounders, which in most drafts are probably second-rounders. So, the value, I think, would be diluted a little bit. But, yeah, I think that they could get 3 first-rounders for him. I mean, just now entering the prime of his career, 0 kind of off-the-field concerns, especially with conditioning and stuff like that, has gotten better every year he's been in the league, save, the 1 year that he was out with the ACL. So, I mean, that's why he's not going to get traded. That's why the 49ers are going to pay him as the highest paid non-quarterback in all of the land, because they, everything is a crapshoot in this league. But Bosa, you feel confident about because he's been so steady, and not just steady, but steadily ascending. He manages to somehow carve a little bit off of his fat content every year, and he gets a little bit quicker because of that. So that's what gives them the confidence to really kind of give him this big contract, and they've known forever that this contract was coming. That's why I don't think it's really on their side why it's being held up.
Yeah, we got to wait on Bosa here. We'll see what happens next week after the Niners come back from Las Vegas after tangling with the Las Vegas Raiders. And, of course, Matt Barrows here on the Morning Rush on 95.7 The Game. 10 minutes, and we haven't brought up the quarterback, so we'll do it now. Brock Purdy, not going to play week 1. Yeah, no doubt. I'm sure it's refreshing for Matt, too. He's not going to play week 1 preseason. We all kind of assumed that one. But will Brock Purdy play at all of the preseason? I got to guess that he's going to see his few series here over the next couple weeks of the preseason.
Yeah, I guess so. I guess it's become that since we've dropped down from 4 to 3 preseason games, it's that second game that's the most regular season-like. So maybe he gets a series or 2 in that one, and then that's it. Certainly not going to play in the third. But the flip side of that is that these games will give Trey Lance and Sam Darnold more reps because they're sort of getting short shrift in the rep department because they've got 4 quarterbacks going right now. So they'll begin to make up some of those missing reps there, and it ought to give fans a better chance to look at these guys. It's close between. You ask me who's winning that number 2 quarterback competition. I'll give you a different name from practice to practice because, one day one guy will look good and the other guy will struggle. And I think in recent ones, early in camp, I thought Sam Darnold got out of the gate really well, looked better than all 4 of the quarterbacks. But he's come back down to earth a little bit. And I think with every practice, Trey Lance, while not perfect, looks a little bit more steady, which is what you were expecting or you were hoping if you were the 49ers you were getting from Trey Lance. So the longer camp has gone on, I think the more Trey Lance has started to stand out.
Are you more excited to see the 3 quarterbacks for the Niners go up against the Raiders or Jimmy go up against the Niners? Just from a pure fun standpoint.
Fun standpoint, yeah, Jimmy versus the Niners. Unfortunately, it's not going to be Jimmy versus peak Niners because Nick Bosa is not going to be there. They've had some injury issues along the defensive line. It's not the same line that was kicking you-know-what when camp started. They're a little dinged up now. Jimmy's had some just terrible outings in training camp. The famous 4-interception day, might have even been a 5-interception day a few years ago. I think that's possible against a 49ers team like this. But like I said, it's not going to be the 49ers' best offering, I don't think, because obviously their best pass rusher isn't there, and I think that unit, and it all stems from their defensive line backward, is a little bit nicked up heading into these practices.
Yeah, no doubt. I'm eager to see if Jimmy G shakes Kyle Shanahan's hand.
Oh.
And gives him a hug. Say, hey, Coach, how you doing? How you doing? Jimmy's been saying some things out there in Las Vegas,
it's been the most anticipated handshake, hug since Jed and Jim.
Oh, no, not that anticipated, right, Matt? Come on. Do we hope Jimmy G the best? He was good to us out here in the Bay Area.
He was, and he was a good person, too. So I do think that handshake occurs. I don't think it'll be a lingering, warm handshake. But I don't think that there's any real animus between the two. It didn't end on perfect terms. Jimmy G, his last day here, beeline to the parking lot, and then he was gone. I mean, there wasn't a lot of long heartfelt goodbyes on his final day with the 49ers.
So Vegas, are you a big Vegas guy, Matt?
I am not. I'm probably the opposite of the Vegas guy. I'm looking for what kind of hikes can I do? And then I look at the high temperature, and I'm like, I'm not doing any hikes, am I? So I got to figure out something to do in Vegas.
Yeah, baby, bet on black. You could do that at the roulette table, baby. Throw $25 up there. Maybe the Athletic covers your expenses there. But it is too hot out there.
Maybe you can play Trent Williams in golf.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he's totally into golf. I want to see him swing the sticks.
Yeah, that would be a great call. That would be a great story. 18 holes with Trent Williams. That would be I'd learn a lot, I think.
Yeah, you would.
Matt, continue the great work, man. We've seen good stuff on the Fred Warner stuff. Really enjoyed that piece. Follow our Fred Warner at Trading Camp last Friday.
Well, thank you for having me on, and I'll talk to you guys soon.
Absolutely. Matt Barrows here on the Morning Rolls on 95.7 The Game.